Good morning, MegaPodlings. It's Crazy Joe. We're back at the old Regal Theater. I haven't been here, well, not for a long time, not since before the pandemic. They just reopened. They've been closed since the spring, and this is my first time here in over a year. They took advantage of the pandemic to remodel. One thing you'll see is they have a brand new sign. They got a new sign on the building that was not there before. I'm excited. You know me, I love my Water Tower Cinema. Water Tower Cinema is my home theater. But, you know, sometimes they don't have everything. Sometimes they don't have the most convenient show times. For example, it is now past 10 o'clock at night. They have a late show. And unfortunately, Water Tower Cinema does not have shows that late. And it's always easier for me to get out of the house later than it is earlier. So these new pandemic times, the pandemic start times, where like the latest show is like in the 7 o'clock hour, it's not always easy to get out. So I was very anxious to check out the newly reopened Regal Cinema, and the fact that they had a late show made it a little easier. Another thing I'm excited about, just before the pandemic began, it was announced that Regal was going to switch from Coca-Cola to Pepsi products. Pepsi, in my opinion, is a far superior soda to Coke. So I'm also kind of excited I get to enjoy a Pepsi beverage while I watch the movie. So let's check out the brand new renovated theater, see what it looks like. One thing I'm not too happy about, I'm seeing the movie Wrath of Man. Guy Ritchie's Wrath of Man is what I'm here to see. And it stars Jason Statham, but unfortunately it also stars Josh Hartnett. So, you know, we're going to make some sacrifices. We're going to sit through a Josh Hartnett movie, something I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy, but, you know, what are you going to do? Sometimes you gotta take one for the team. So we're going to sit through a Josh Hartnett movie. Don't say I never did anything for you there. And the movie is unfortunately showing on their RPX screen. Now, I hate RPX. If you don't know what RPX is, it's Regal's excuse to bilk you out of a little bit more money. They call it a premium experience. It's actually garbage. They like crank the volume up a little bit louder. I only saw one movie in RPX, and it was a horrible experience. It was the remake of Carrie, which in and of itself wasn't a very good movie. But there was a scene where someone was banging their head on a wall, and the whole theater was like reverberating, like with every time she would bang her head on the wall. And I'm like, a human head hitting a wall wouldn't even make a sound that loud. I was not impressed with RPX. So normally I avoid RPX like the plague. Unfortunately, this movie at the 10:25 hour is only playing on the RPX screen, which is a disappointment. But again, I'm already sitting through a Josh Hartnett movie. I mean, we can sit through RPX too. I mean, we'll call it the double whammy. Let's go in. Let's check this movie out. As I head to the theater, I see a Pepsi cup. Just like I said, we've made the switch from Coke to Pepsi, and that is an upgrade. Here we go. Let's see what they have done to upgrade this theater. And right here, I'll pop in what the old sign looked like. For those of you who don't remember, this is what it used to look like. Regal. I checked. Unfortunately, the movie poster is not hanging outside. We can't check out the poster for this movie. But I did walk past the door, and it looks like it's radically different inside. It is not a small remodel. They changed everything. Let's take a look. Yes, we're open again. It is completely different in here. Not even a little bit the same. There's the sign for RPX, which we're seeing the movie in, and like I said, Regal Premium Experience, it's garbage. But there's the RPX theater, and I do hate RPX, but it's what we got to deal with. I mean, it's bad enough we're dealing with Josh Hartnett. We also have to deal with that. But let's check out the rest of the theater, because it's completely remodeled. was going to say that was the poster, but it changed. We've gone to digital posters. Maybe it'll come back if we wait long enough. Well, then again, it might be too long of a wait. So, the heck with that. We have a big screen going in the back here. I will say, they've done a nice job. Here we go. RPX. The movie just let out, but I thought we could look at some of the things they've added to this theater. Looks like there's a coffee bar here now. Coffee bar in addition to the traditional concession stand over there. This did not used to be here. And there's also something new on this end. Be Fresh. I'm not sure what this is. Let's take a look. Be Fresh. Give yourself more. Coming soon. Looks like this isn't open yet. Yogurt, smoothies, that kind of crap. So that's over here. Be Fresh. Then you got the traditional concession stand and then a coffee bar. You got these monitors all through the place. If I can find a clip, I will pop in a clip right here of what this theater used to look like before the remodeling. It looks completely different.
This is the intermission song that I'm gonna sing. We're not that big giant lizard smashing buildings anymore, cause we would get sued by the Toho Corporation, not allowed to talk about it anymore. God forbid somebody uses the word Zilla on a show. They are nothing but money grubbing giant lizards. You guys want some popcorn?
All right, Wrath of Man. Wrath of Man, new Guy Ritchie movie, starred Jason Statham. Fortunately, Josh Hartnett plays a smaller role in the film. He doesn't take up too much screen time, thankfully. But Jason Statham's very, very good in it. And if you like Guy Ritchie, this is something I'd recommend. I don't want to get too much into the plot because there are twists and turns, and I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to give any spoilers and ruin your experience on this movie. So I would just say, big high five, go see it, I say. It is a crime thriller about armored trucks and armored truck drivers. There's a company that hires a new armored truck driver. It's Jason Statham, and he's got some skills. He's got some skills questioning them. Well, where did this guy come from? Now, I'm not going to tell you where he came from. That's where the film's surprises lie, and you'll have to find that out for yourself. But it's very action-packed, and it's a good story. It's well written, well directed, and a lot of action. It's the full package. I recommend Wrath of Man. This is a film, to be honest with you, that had not been on my radar. I just started seeing trailers in the last couple of weeks. This isn't a film that like all year I've been like, yay, Wrath of Man is coming. I didn't even hear about this till a couple of weeks ago, but as the trailers have been playing, I've been like, yes, that is something I will check out. I like Guy Ritchie. I'm not a huge Guy Ritchie fan. I've still never seen Snatch. I had a bad experience in Snatch. I was in the theater, got sick, got my money refunded because I was feeling really sick and I wanted to go home. and my intent was, I'll come back, I'll see it another time. And I just never got around to it. And ever since then, I've still never seen Snatch. But, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is a good movie. Really liked his remake of Aladdin. I think his remake of Aladdin was terrific, although that's certainly not your typical Guy Ritchie film. So, I'm a fan of his work. Minor fan, not a huge fan, but I'm a minor fan of Guy Ritchie's work. I enjoy Jason Statham. He's fun to watch. And this movie is really well put together. A lot of good action. It'll kind of keep you guessing as the film goes along. And big recommendation. Go check it out. There's not much out right now. So why not? Why not? If you want to go to the movies, you've only got a handful of choices anyway. For now, that's about to change. Things are starting to pick up at the movie theaters. That is definitely true. There's 2 big movies opening this coming Friday. 2 big movies. Army of the Dead and Spiral from the Book of Saw. So we're getting 2 movies this coming week. So yeah, that's starting to change. There is stuff out there now. But right now, it is still a little bit of a slow time. There's not much out there. If you want to go to the movies, I do recommend Wrath of Man. I don't think you'll be disappointed in it. Big high five for me. Big surprise. I enjoyed this film. And check it out, I say. Check it out. And the new Regal Warrington Theater, it's not a theater I'm going to be frequenting all the time. My loyalties are still with Water Tower Cinema, my local theater. But I got to say, every now and then, show times don't line up. You got to go to another theater. And Regal Warrington is one of those theaters that's close to my house that I go to semi-frequently. They're number one's Water Tower, but if something's not playing at Water Tower, that Regal Theater is one that I've always checked out, and it looks beautiful. I didn't notice it while I was there. While I was in the place, I didn't notice it. But when I came home and showed the videos that I took to my wife, she said, well, of course you like it. It looks like the grid from Tron. And I'm like, you are correct. I didn't think of that until you just said it. But it does look like the grid from Tron. So I think I really enjoyed the fact that they've turned that theater into the grid from Tron. Here's something else I'll say about Regal, though. One of the problems with Regal. They do have the Regal Unlimited, which is a good deal. But their concessions are so overpriced. And I know movie theaters make the bulk of their money from concessions. But when I buy a large popcorn and a large drink at Water Tower Cinema, it doesn't cost me $17. It costs $17 for a large drink and a large popcorn at Regal. It's like, even with the Regal Unlimited, that's pricey, man. Like AMC's got the AMC A-list, but they also have the refillable popcorn buckets. So if you buy that refillable popcorn bucket at the beginning of the year, you'll only spend $4 on popcorn. Yeah, you'll pay a little more for the soda, but you only pay $4 on the popcorn. $17 for a large popcorn, large drink? That is highway robbery. Highway robbery. And this is one of the reasons I just could never bring myself to get a Regal Unlimited. Even though Regal has more convenient show times and more theaters in my area, I went with the AMC A+, or A-list, because it was a better financial deal due to the refillable popcorn bucket that Regal does not offer. But here I am, turning this into a review of the movie theater, which is not what this is supposed to be. High five, Wrath of Man, check it out. Keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.